So like I said, we're going to start in Isaiah chapter 5. And most of the first 5 chapters of the book of Isaiah talks about Judah and Jerusalem and how they've turned their backs on God. And how they've forgotten everything that God did for them when he brought them out of Egypt, out of slavery. And he sustained them and he provided for them as they wandered the desert for 40 years. And they turned their backs on everything God called them to do and called them to be. And this allowed the influence of the outside world, of the kingdoms and the nations and the people around Jerusalem and Judea to influence how they lived their daily lives. And this is the world that Isaiah finds himself in. And it's not his fault. He didn't do anything. And that was kind of the situation we found ourselves in, right? There was a lot of uncertainty for Isaiah. He didn't know what was going to happen. He didn't know what the world was going to be like. He didn't know what Jerusalem and Judea was going to be like. And that's what we felt, right? We felt uncertainty. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if we were going to have a job next week. We didn't know if we were going to, if our friends were going to have a job or if our loved ones were going to be in the hospital. We didn't know. We faced nothing but uncertainty. So this is what he says. Isaiah, starting in verse 9, the Lord Almighty has declared in my hearing, surely the great houses will become desolate, the fine mansions left without occupants. A 10-acre vineyard will produce only a bath of wine, a homer of seed, only an ephah of grain. Woe to those who rise early in the morning to run after their drinks, who stay up late at night until they are inflamed with wine. They have harps and lyres at their banquets, tambourines and flutes and wine, but they have no regard for the deeds of the Lord, no respect for the work of his hands. And here's what God says, verse 13, therefore, my people will go into exile. For lack of understanding, their men of rank will die of hunger, and their masses will be parched with thirst. Therefore, the grave enlarges its appetite and opens its mouth without limit. It will descend their nobles in masses, and their brawlers and revelers. My people have ignored my decrees and forgotten who they are and forgotten who I am, and so they will die and they will go into exile. And that was the world that Isaiah was in. He didn't know what that was going to look like. He didn't know what was going to happen. He was uncertain. Everybody was uncertain except God.